Hello everyone, Tutu Mora here with The Why, bringing you tools to feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. So today we're continuing our back series, focusing on the mid back here. And before we lay down on our mat, you're not going to need any props today except for your mat. I'm going to go over a couple of the movements standing up so you can see and perhaps practice that movement standing so that when we lay down, you're better able and it's easier for you to incorporate it as we move into the sequence. So with that, I'm going to step back, guide you through just this arm sequence that we're going to take over to the mat. So as you're standing here, we're going to start here on the left side. Your palm is going to be facing towards the ceiling. So above us, this plane is the ceiling as we're lying on the mat. You're going to just be bringing that arm out wide as if you're opening up a wing all the way overhead. And then even though you can't see my arm, it's just coming back up, fingertips towards the ceiling to rest right back down at my torso. And we'll take that again, palm facing up, letting that arm float all the way out and up. Fingertips now towards the ceiling as it comes down towards the torso to the starting point. And so we'll take that to the other side just so your muscles have that little memory there. Again, floating that arm out, and it may already feel like a little stretch, so get ready for when we put it all together laying down. Fingertips towards the ceiling as it then comes down. One more time here just to get it into our muscles. Floating out. Fingertips now towards the ceiling, palm is facing inside towards your body. Back down to the starting point. Okay, so last thing I want to point out to you here before we take it down to the mat is where we want to breathe. So I'm going to be cueing you to breathe into the back of your rib cage. It's going to be right beneath your shoulder blades pretty much. And so if you can feel with your hands where that spot is, with a gentle pressure. Perhaps taking a moment to try to breathe into that space. So breathing into your thumbs as if you could puff out your breath through your body into your thumbs. Inhaling and exhaling. Perhaps taking that 2 more times. So often we breathe into the front of our body, and it can be very beneficial to also breathe into the back of our body. So feeling into that, that's another aspect that we're going to carry with us over to the mat. So let's go ahead and hop over to the mat. So as you lay down, you're going to start with your knees bent, hip distance apart. And if you can, find that awareness of breathing into the back of your body, especially the back of that rib cage, that space that we just tuned into. So sometimes when the mid back is tight, it can indicate that the lower half of our torso and the upper half of our torso are they don't have the freedom and range of movement that they need to in order to keep things flowing and keep our movements smooth. So we're just going to work on separating those 2 spaces within our trunk or our torso. So to start, let's go ahead and glue those ankles and knees together. I'll slide up a little bit so you can see. So gluing those together as if you've got one big leg here. Taking a little micro pelvic tilt, so curling that tailbone just a smidge. And we're gonna let those knees sway, sinking your weight into that right side of the pelvis so your lower abdominals are helping you with this sway. And as you're able, we're just gonna carry that little spine twist into it. So let those knees come over as much as they're able as you keep your shoulders heavy on the mat. So let's take a moment here. Breathe into the back of the rib cage. Breathe into those points that we found earlier. And then perhaps sinking your weight into that opposite side of the pelvis, keeping that little micro pelvic curl as we take that sway over to the other side. Keeping those shoulders heavy on the mat as you sway. And now breathing into those back of the rib cage points that we found earlier. Let's take that one more time. Pausing at the center though, because this next set, as we sway over to the right, the left arm is going to come up overhead, so fingertips are starting towards the ceiling. So as we sway, that arm comes overhead. We're going to gently rotate the head as if you're going to smell your armpit. Pausing here, lengthen that side of the torso. So reach that sit bone away from the back of the armpit. Reach that back of the armpit away from the sit bone. And let's lengthen that side of the torso as you breathe into the back of the rib cage. And then again, sinking your weight into that opposite side of the pelvis as your arm comes back down, and we'll switch to the other side. So sit bone reaches away from the back of the armpit reaching away from the sit bone, finding that length, breathing into the back of the rib cage. And let's take that one more time to each side. So taking it at your own pace and finding the range that feels good for your body today in this moment. So let's come back to center here, widening your stance so feet are sit bones distance apart. Let's take a little pelvic tilt once again. Perhaps bring that tilt up a little bit higher than you did before, and we'll rest it back down. We'll take that one more time, just as a little reset to check and see how our spine is able to move. And now from here, we're going to bring our arms up, fingertips towards the ceiling, and then we're going to bend at the elbows. So we've got almost these I Dream of Jeannie arms. So opposite hand is on the opposite elbow. And we're going to take what's called an alternating puppet arm. I'm going to shuffle back down so you can better see my arms here. And so we're going to start on the right side, scooping a shoulder blade out and up so that right elbow tip comes up towards the ceiling, resting it back down. Same thing with the other side. Scoop that left shoulder blade out and up so that elbow tip comes up towards the ceiling, resting it back down. Again to the other side, perhaps now letting that sternum sink towards the mat as you scoop that shoulder blade out and up, resting it back down. Same thing on the other side. Sinking that sternum, resting it back down. And now we're going to take that same thing. So starting on the right, scooping that shoulder blade out and up. This time we're going to add in a little rotation at the sternum. So letting that puppet arm, as you raise that elbow tip towards the ceiling, find a little rotation of the shoulder girdle. Let the head come with you, but let the pelvis stay stable on each side. Breathe into the back of the rib cage. Press that back down, and we'll take that over to the other side. First, scooping that shoulder blade out and up. Sternum sinks. And then finding that rotation at the sternum. Pelvis stays where it is, equally weighted on both sides. Breathing into the back of the rib cage. Back to center. Let's take it one more time to each side. resting back down, and you can let your arms rest to the side. So now we're going to incorporate that movement that we showed earlier before we lay down. So we're going to start that movement here with the right arm. The left hand is going to come to rest on your sternum, just as a reminder to keep that space heavy, a reminder to breathe into the back of your rib cage. So, palm facing up, shoulder down and away from the ears. You're going to spread your fingertips wide. And I'm going to have you reach through, especially through the thumb and through the index finger, as if you're reaching those fingers away. So let's find that sensation here. Holding onto that reach as you start to open that arm out to the side. Holding onto that reach as you float it overhead. And then bring it straight up, fingertips towards the ceiling, back down to the mat. And we'll take that again, finding that spread of the fingers, reaching through the thumb and the index finger as you open that arm out. Breathing into the back of the rib cage. And floating that back up. One more time. Find that reach. Resting back down. And we'll switch the hands. So now your right hand is placed on your sternum, as your left hand is going to float overhead. So find that spread of the fingers. Find that reach through the thumb and the index finger. Shoulder down as you start to reach that arm out, overhead, and straight up and back to the starting point. We'll take that 2 more times, perhaps deepening that reach. Breathing through the back of your body, sinking that sternum. Last time. And now we're going to take it together. So both arms out to the side. Reaching through the thumbs and the index fingers as you reach both arms out and up. Sternum heavy, breathing through the back of the rib cage. 2 more times. Last one. Letting those arms rest at your sides, perhaps feeling into those shoulders. Let's take another pelvic curl here just to feel into the difference. You might notice that you have a lot more articulation. You're able to move that spine. You're able to move that lower half of your body without the upper half of your body trying to be tangled in with the movement. So shoulders and rib cage are able to stay softer as you take that pelvic curl. Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit up. Perhaps feeling into, maybe taking a couple steps around the room. How does that spine feel? How does that mid-back feel after those stretches? So I hope that you found this supportive to you. If you liked this video, please go ahead and like it below, and I'll see you back here next time on the Wise YouTube channel. Take care.